Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
Great to have your company for another week on this Monday morning, busy Monday morning. Plenty to work through from the weekend, plenty to look forward to, of course, today, Pinjarra, and then tomorrow at Gloucester Park. Lots of racing over the next 24 to 48 hours here in WA. Dylan Egerton-Green will be a special guest today, looking ahead and also looking back to Friday night. He was able to end the night a winner, so looking forward to catching up with him this morning. But first and foremost, we get to our experts who hopefully find us some winners going forward from the Friday night meeting and also some winners for the next couple of days. Matt Young, good morning to you once more.
Good morning, Tim, to Ollie, everyone tuned in.
And a very good morning to you, Ollie, and well done as well on a successful Friday night. A couple of winners there at headquarters.
Morning, Tim. Morning, Matt. Yeah, it doesn't happen often, so no, I was really, really pleased with Penny Black and Montana DJ there. They've both been going well, and they deserve those wins.
Certainly do. Just a quick thought maybe on Penny Black and her win in the Breeders' Stakes, so was able to force her way to the top. There was a lot of talk pre-race around what might happen, what might be the leader of this race. Would Wonderful to Fly try and hold up from barrier number one? That was the intention, but she was able to bully her way there, and this was a stylish performance from Penny Black at the end of it all, Ollie.
Yeah, it really was again. She's a really, really tough mare, but she's also, under the right circumstances, she's a really fast horse as well, and she was able to dash home in a pretty slick last half to hold out a fast horse in Little Darling and Nullarbor Navajo, who's now been retired back there in third. She was terrific again, and she's just showing each time that she is one of the top mares, and certainly if she's able to lead and in these better races, she can win them.
And she did just that on Friday night. Matt, what was your take on the performance of Penny Black quickly before we get some horses to follow?
Yeah, no, she was really good. She was gutsy to be joined and looked to be really conquered, to be fair. Little Darling was great in defeat again, but yeah, I thought she was gutsy, and that's what we've come to know with Penny Black is when the chips are down, she's right in it for the big fight and fight to the end. And it was a big night for Michael Young and Ollie, of course. And yeah, it was good to see her back to her absolute best.
Yeah, and Emily Savelko as well, able to get a couple of feature winners there. The feature race double, of course, with Penny Black and also Alta Tribute. We'll talk about that race in a moment. And then for good measure as well, getting Montana DJ and Acushla McCree to victory. So 4 winners for her on the night. Now, Ollie, one of your horses is, of course, out of the 4 and 5-year-old championship. We spoke about it on Friday morning, how fascinating this race is each and every year, and this was no exception. Taken out by Alta Tribute, but you wanted to go to the one that finished third as one of your horses to follow today.
Yeah, it really was a terrific race, wasn't it? There were so many chances on paper and so many horses that are just in amazing form at the moment. So trying to pick out which horse would lead in the early stages and then which horse would win was an extremely difficult task. It ended up being I'm the Black Flash, but he burned really hard there in a 35-6 lead time. Gully Gum was the other horse that was coming at him early, and Gully Gum actually did quite well to battle on for 7th off the pegs, but I'm the Black Flash. He kept copying pressure there, and he kicked away early, and the 2 horses in behind him that had the softer runs in the race, Alta Tribute, who was a really impressive winner, and Lusaka were able to get off the pegs and they were able to run past him, but certainly they had softer trips, and I'm the Black Flash is probably more known as a sit sprint type horse. So I thought he was really good there. 1:54.7 for the mile rate is pretty slick time after that lead time as well. So I certainly thought he could lead in another big race, or he could sit off the pace, and he can go really well there. He's quite a versatile horse now, it seems.
And Matt, just your thought on that race as well before we get the remainder of Ollie's horses to follow.
Yeah, look, Alta Tribute's come back in really good form, and I think he's a really nice horse going forward. But as we can see, those sort of races, we saw that basically pegs dominated. So it just shows you how even a lot of these horses are, because I think most of the horses, if they're able to get the pegs run, probably finish into the top 4 or play a part in the top end of the money. So, yeah, it's just a really even group.
All right, Ollie, keep going with some horses to follow from Friday night. You're going to the back end of the program.
Yeah, out of race 8, it was, the winner of this race, Akusla McCree, was incredibly impressive there. Well, she worked hard. She found the front, and she was too good for Scooter B, who's quite a smart horse. And the horse in third also did plenty of work in the early stages, Pocket the Change. She's a horse with very good gate speed, but she wasn't quite able to find the pegs there on Friday night, and she was left sitting off the pegs, and eventually she got cover in behind Scooter B, and she was only beaten 14 metres in third there, and given the 35.9 lead time, I thought that was a really impressive effort. She held off some nice enough horses in Quinton and Dawson, and I think if Pocket the Change can find the front in a race very soon, she'll be really, really hard to catch, particularly in Mare's company. So, yeah, I think she can be really hard to beat in a race soon. And then in the next race on the card, race 9, I thought the third horse again here, going with a few thirds today, Up and Alive, was really impressive there. This horse has shown a bit so far in his career, and this was in her career, and this was another really good effort. Flashed into third there behind Ocean Front and Spirit of Whitby. It was a really eye-catching effort, and they got home in 29.4. So they certainly weren't walking on the way home, and she still made up plenty of ground. I think if she can get up on speed in a race soon, she'll be really hard to catch there.
Yeah, I didn't get to Aidan DeCampo in the parade ring, and I did catch him afterwards and said, that was a good performance by Up and Alive there. And he said, well, I wouldn't have given him too great a push in the parade ring interview. So I'm sure that was a pleasant surprise for Aidan Up and Alive running into the money there. Also for Adrian Shanks, the trainer of Up and Alive. Now, Matt, let's get some horses to follow from your good self.
Yeah, I'm with Pocket Full of Opals, one that sort of followed the peg line, but she's sort of been in the wilderness her last couple, so it was really good to see her work into the clear. And when she got into the clear, she really balanced up and dashed home quite strongly. So definitely one to follow, in my opinion, Pocket Full of Opals, because when she is on song, she's a reasonably solid horse. So I thought Jaws of Lincoln was really good. He got home strongly in his race, and for a horse that was sort of had a couple of tough runs last prep, he had to freshen up, came back. I think it's really encouraging to see what he's going to be able to do going forward off of the back of that. So it was a real confidence builder in my eyes for Jaws of Lincoln, and agree with Ollie about Up and Alive. She just sort of was in the wilderness, I guess, for a couple of starts after showing a bit of promise early. But Friday was a good indication that she's getting back to a better form, and to be able to do that, I suggest she'll be winning one pretty soon. So Pocket Full of Opals, Jaws of Lincoln, and Up and Alive.
All right, so there's some horses to follow out of Friday night for Matt and Ollie. Pocket Full of Opals, Jaws of Lincoln, Up and Alive for Matt. On the Black Flash, Pocket the Change, Up and Alive for Ollie. Let's get to Pinjarra today, and very similar across the board here for the boys. So, Matt, we'll go to you first and foremost. You're playing races 5, 6 and 8. So start us off race 5. How did you see this playing out?
I thought Guilty by the Beach would lead. I thought Always Be Frank was a tremendous place chance in this race. So that's the way I was playing, even now that there has been a little bit taken out in this race in terms of the price. He was sort of high $2 range as we did the preview, but now he's down at $2.15. But I just thought he was a real lock for a place today. So keen on that. Always Be Frank, race 5, number 8 for the place. Race 6, I was keen on Hunt the Magic. I thought would run a really good race here. Just with that draw advantage, I thought we could see Hunt the Magic roll forward. Even if she doesn't find the top, I was still confident she could nearly win this from the breeze. So if she does find the lead, she's going to be incredibly hard to beat. Hunt the Magic's last run put the writing on the wall, and I think she can get the job done here. And of the others on the program, we go to race number 8, where we see, in my eyes, the Freelancer is sort of a 1x4 sort of bet. From the draw, I think we'll be leaders back. We'll get every look at them, every chance, and get a good look at them with the use of the Tab Touch sprint lane. So the freelancer for me on an each-way basis in race 8. So that one each way, race 6 straight out, Hunt the Magic, and race 5, place only, always be frank.
All right, place, win, each way. Something for everyone there for Matt today. Ollie, you're also going to race number 5.
Yeah, and I had the exact same thoughts as Matt there. I think Always Be Frank is a horse that just goes so much better when he's able to find the fence. He was terrific last start. I thought in third, he led them up there. He ran along and he battled on really well for third in what was a pretty nice race. Ambitsire took out that race, and she's a pretty classy mare. So I think that's really good form. He was really good 2 starts ago, winning at Bunbury when he was leaders back in that race too, and they got home in 28, and he just powered clear in the concluding stages. So I think that he looks really hard to beat really hard to beat for the placings in this race behind Guilty by the Beach, who was very impressive last start following around Blazing Reactor, who is quite a smart horse as well. So I think he can get every chance there from the draw. Then in race 6, I was keen to be with Icy Cold in this race, who I think might have the speed to get over in the early stages. Lucienne, I think she's been going really well, but she probably can't afford to do too much work in the early stages. So if Icy Cold can just zip across her and potentially take a sit on one of the better ones, I think she can be right there in the finish. She loves the mile, so this race looks ideally suited to her. I also thought it was worth potentially having something on Jackie Daniels as well in that race, who's going really well at the moment and has been very competitive in a couple strong races, her last 2. So if they do go too hard in that race, I think she can be running home strongly there. And then in the last race, I'm going one that Matt will like, Wave Rebellion. I thought this horse was really good first up last start. They ran a pretty solid last 1200 there, and he just got a little bit tired in the concluding stages, or she did. And I think this race looks a lot easier. That race was taken out by Captain Said So, and the runner-up there was I'm Massimo, and they're 2 pretty classy horses. I don't think there's any horses of that calibre in this race, and might get a little bit easier of a run there off the back row in the early stages, can afford to do no work in the early stages, and then can finish off strongly there, hopefully over the top of them late in the last race for us.
All right, so Ollie seeing it the same way as Matt in race number 5 with Always Be Frank, and then having something in race number 6 on Icy Cold, and also something on Jackie Daniels, and then the last race, Wave Rebellion, currently $2.75 there with Tab Touch. So that is
right.
Yeah, yes, Matt. Of course, you referenced that earlier on this morning, and we do wish you luck there in the lucky last. Now, let's turn our attention to tomorrow, and Ollie, we'll let you keep going because you're going to race number 4 for the first of your plays tomorrow night at Gloucester Park.
Yeah, and it looks a really good race, this one, the Team Bond 3-year-old Pearl Classic Heat. I thought I'm Massimo could nearly do enough in the early stages to lead them up, and that'd just give a really good run to By Royal Command, who I think is going really well, and he's really made a step up to be competitive against some of the better horses. He can drop in behind Massimo and just get every chance from there, and I think he looks a really good 1 by 9 type thing. I don't think he'll be beating Massimo, but I certainly think he can run the placings there. I think they've just got to hold out Pinjarra Rocks, who's a pretty fast horse in the early stages, and then we'll get every chance from there. And then a bit later on the card, we'll have to wait until the last race. I thought Diamond Bay was a really impressive return from a spell there last start. She just had absolutely no luck. She made a break early and then was pushed off the track, and she just kept coming. She was a terrific effort, and it looks a similar field here. I think if she's able to hold her spot in the early stages, she'll be really, really hard to beat in that race.
All right, so that is Diamond Bay in the lucky last by Royal Command in race number 4, the third of the Diamond Heats. Matt, you're going to the middle of the program for your 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, look, I'm having a bit of a throw at the stumps tomorrow. Firstly, race 5, I like the way Just All Styles come back and hit the line. Well, it's been unlucky, and so I think Just All Style could run a decent race, could be an each-way price. I was sort of happy to go with her on an each-way basis, hoping that she's an each-way price. It's a pretty open sort of race. And then in race 7, I didn't mind the way that Malachi trialled, and I think Malachi at her best form, or anywhere near her best, is right up to this field. So there's a bit of speculativeness and guessing work that's gone on here, but I'm just hoping that the prices are decent for these two. But race 7, number 7, lucky number 7, hopefully for Malachi on an each-way basis potentially, and race 5, number 5, Just All Style. So we're keeping it nice and clean. Race 5, number 5, race 7, number 7.
All right, hopefully the speculative picks from Matt Young can come to fruition tomorrow night. All right, gents, thank you for your time once again this morning. Matt, you'll be there at Pinjarra today, the Racing WA Harness X page, and then again here tomorrow night and Friday night. Busy week for you.
Yeah, absolutely, no worries.
Looking forward to seeing all of Matt's coverage. And Ollie, hopefully a few winners for you, and we'll hear from you on Talking Trots later on in the week as well.
Thanks, Tim. Looking forward to it.
There is Oli Cownie and Matt Young. All right, we're going to take a very short break here on Off and Pacing. When we come back, Dylan Egerton-Green will join us off the back of winning in the lucky last event on Friday night with on Category 5, and also looking ahead to the next couple of days.
On Tab Radio, Racing and Sport, this is Off and Pacing.
Great to have your company on this Monday morning, Off and Pacing for another week. We've just had Matt and Ollie with their early look at Pinjarra and also Gloucester Park tomorrow night. We'll get to that again in a couple of moments' time with Dylan Egerton-Green. He will join us. He is standing by. Just a very quick reminder for those that are keen to pay their final respects to Greg Sugars. The memorial is going to be broadcast from 10 o'clock today on Trots Vision. Of course, the sad passing of Greg Sugars just a couple of weeks ago. He'll be getting a final farewell from the harness racing community over there in Victoria today, and you will be able to stream that online, so you can head to the Trots Vision to see all of that. All right, let's get to our special guest for this morning, off the back of a win here on Friday night and a couple of other close calls over the course of the weekend, and we can cover the next couple of days with him as well. Dylan Egerton-Green. Dylan, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Tim and listeners. How are we going?
Going along very nicely. Great to have you on the program as always, and off the back of a win on Friday night as well with a 2-year-old that's done a pretty good job over the last couple of days, getting 2 wins from as many starts to start off her career in Category 5. An eventful couple of days, but she was able to get the job done there on Friday night. What was your original thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously, Tuesday's run was full of merit, and then she backed it up again Friday. Obviously, just racing the mile, but being a 2-year-old, it was full of credit. She didn't have everything go away on Friday, and still was strong enough, good enough to come away with the win.
Yeah, I was speaking to on the track on Friday night, so you mentioned about not everything going your way, but you made that decision early doors to just let things unfold early, and then obviously locking wheels with about 600 metres to go. So were there stages where you thought, this isn't going to work out?
Yeah, definitely. I thought we were in a world of pain there for a little bit, but once that sort of unfolded, it still sort of at the 400 horse inside me was kicking through. So we had a bit going on, but the cyclone struck twice. Yeah,
it certainly did. Well named, of course, out of Typhoon Tiff on Category 5. So she did a great job as well on the track, winning more than $200,000 and took on some of the better mares in the state. What was Collins? Did he fill you with a degree of confidence going into Tuesday night and then again on Friday nights, or what was your read on what he had to say to you?
Well, he was sort of real happy with Tuesday's run, and then I didn't know if he forgot to pull her out for the Friday or not, but anyway, it worked out to be a good training performance. He was happy. I'm pretty sure she's gone out for a little let-up now and then probably come back and target some of the feature 2 races that are left for the remaining part of the year.
And hopefully she can be very competitive in that. We'll stay on Friday night, and we were talking about the 4 and 5-year-old championship earlier on. Lusaka enjoyed that lovely rails run, and that was by virtue of the draw barrier number 10. But how did you assess his performance there on Friday night?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, to be fair. Sort of probably just needed one of those runs under his belt where he didn't have to be doing the bullocking work 3 wide or the breeze and that, and it probably definitely paid dividends, and I think it will probably help him going forward in this prep. Just mentally probably just copped it a bit tough, and I think hopefully now he'll bounce back with a bit of a win. I was happy with him. He just probably got beat by a better horse on the night.
Yeah, it's the second time that you've had the chance to team up with him, the other being in the 4-year-old Classic and beaten by Mr. Smarty on that occasion. But do you feel like he'll be able to become a pretty consistent free-for-all performer over the next few weeks as he works his way into this campaign? And there's that opportunity now with a lot of the good ones going out.
Yeah, I think so, Timmy. I obviously don't have that much to do with him other than driven him a few times, but I'm pretty sure Team Bond and that have got a pretty big opinion of him.
Yeah.
And I think he'll probably grow into a nice racehorse, and I think obviously racing those better ones, he can be driven a bit more of a sniper, and I think it'll probably pay dividends in the end, and he'll probably win more than he loses.
Just staying with the free-for-all ranks, so you were there with Otis, both the Nullarbor and the Fremantle Cup, and a string of good runs before that as well. He was working up towards a well-deserved win, it felt like, but we know at that level it is hard to win those races against the very good ones here, but you must be absolutely wrapped with the way that he acquitted himself.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. Connections were over the moon. Obviously, I might have said it before, but when the new handicapping system come in, he got ranked to top of free-for-all, and Steve was a little bit worried that he probably wasn't going to be up to it, but he definitely lifted this sort of preparation and showed that he's good enough to race in there, so they shouldn't have anything to worry about. And obviously he got a few good draws and made life a little bit easier for him, but he definitely finished his campaign on a high in his own performances. Obviously probably not numerically, but we're sort of looking forward to next prep with him now.
And is it all about the Pacing Cup? You talk about that next prep. It's all about coming back for Christmas time?
Just Steve and Charlotte are actually going overseas on holiday, so I thought good for him to have a bit of a break too. So obviously we won't get ahead of ourselves. We've still got to win a few races to gain a start in that, but he's showing that he's up to him, so that's all he can do, and hopefully he can get a bit of luck go his way and string a few wins together.
All right, now let's turn our attention to today if we can. You've got a couple of chances to work through here. Obviously, the first of them, I'm Lord Logan. It looks a tall order with Guilty by the Beach, drawn barrier number 1, but how have you assessed what I'm Lord Logan's done this time in?
Yeah, I was real happy with him first up. Timmy ran a real quick quarter down the back, and I'm not sure if the track was probably a bit quick that day with the wind and that, but he was still really good first up, and then pretty much just got a little bit of the second up blues. Some probably due to driver error, horse probably not being where he needed to be, and sort of last corner he sort of got down a bit. So we're thinking with a few things in the 6-day back up, but I think he should be good enough to run a good race here. Obviously, the favourite's drawn 1 and looked hard to beat, but it did over race a little bit last time it led, so we'll probably hope that happens again.
All right, Rock Me Over's in the stands. Is there a win around the corner, do you feel, just watching on and seeing what the old boy's been doing, and could it be today off the 20?
Always an honest horse, and you get 100% from him every week that he goes around. So if he sort of steps good and slobs in a handy sort of spot, anything can happen if he gets a bit of race and luck go his way. He's nice to drive, and you get the same horse every week, which is always good. All
right, and then the lucky last, it's a really competitive affair. You're teaming up with American Typhoon. How does it look from barrier number 5 there? Yeah,
obviously this one's a half sister to on category 5, so she probably needs to step up her level a little bit. Otherwise, she might not be making the short list. So definitely a winnable race for her. Dropping back to Pinjarra probably would suit as well. She's sort of not the most fluent going pacer, and I think getting around Pinjarra should help her a heap. So she could be one that improves off that, and hopefully mentally she can finish it off. It just sort of seems to be what she hasn't been put together her previous few starts.
Dylan Egerton-Green is with us on the program this morning as we look ahead to Pinjarra today, and also we get to Gloucester Park tomorrow night where we have got the heats of the Pearl, and there's a little bit to work through with you here. So damage done, we know how that race unfolded on Saturday night. So just in regards to tomorrow night, you've got a tricky draw to overcome here, and we know Belly Up looks mighty hard to beat, but how have you assessed what Damage Done has been doing of late?
Yeah, he's been a pretty frustrating horse, to be honest with you. Sort of shows a little bit of ability, and then sometimes you get it at the races, sometimes you don't. So I think hopefully we've sort of worked him out a little bit, and his start before Saturday was really good. Obviously it was in a bit weaker company, but he still found the line good, which is one thing that he was sort of failing to do. And then, last start, obviously, it was a banded race, but he sort of felt good, and as much as you can take out of that, I was really happy. So sort of grateful that I did back him up in these heats, otherwise it would have been going without a run. And, I think if he puts his best foot forward, he should be running an honest race and hopefully getting home good. But, it's obviously tricky races, these heats. There's sort of not sort of too much tempo early, and you have to drive for a bit of luck.
All right, and Captain Paprika is in that boat as well. Do you just look for that soft trip and then hopefully get that bit of luck?
Yeah, he looks like he'd probably be free the fence at worst, and sort of driving the same. He'd probably appreciate not doing too much early off the gate and just being a little sniper, and hopefully run into a bit of ticky money there.
Now, Captain Sterling, how do you go about it from out there in the third heat?
Yeah, obviously, he's got the worst barrier draw of the lot, but probably looking at it, just probably take luck out of it, to be fair. He's big enough, strong enough. His run last start was enormous, to be fair, I think. He's just probably come up against a few good ones in probably the wrong year. I think, he's got a fair bit of ability, and hopefully he can put it all together, and I think he should go well on Tuesday.
Hopefully he can do just that. He deserves to get in on the winners list once again. Dill, thanks for your time this morning. We do appreciate it. Good luck today, and also good luck tomorrow as well with the heats of the Pearl.
Cheers, Timmy. Please have a good day.
All the best. There is Dylan Egerton-Green with us on the program, looking ahead to Pinjarra and then Gloucester Park tomorrow night. 3 heats of the Pearl. Looking forward to that, and then the Diamond this week, the Diamond final for the fillies. We saw them qualify last week. All right, that is another edition of Off and Pacing done. Up next, we've got our East Coast racing previews. We're going to take in the previews courtesy of RSN of Mornington today, and then also Quirindi. So the abandonment of the Murwillumbah meetings leaves us with just the 2 previews to play. You'll get Quirindi first, and on the back of that, we'll take in Mornington. I'll be back again next week with Off and Pacing. Don't forget, tune into the Sports Daily tomorrow morning as well from 5:30. Looking forward to your company then. Have a great day.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.